You forgive yourself. Not because you were right, but because you have learned. Forgiveness is freedom, and freedom is love without fear. When you reach this place, you no longer seek heaven after death. You create it in every breath. The birdsong in the morning, the laughter of a stranger, the warmth of the sun on your face. These are no longer ordinary. They are sacred. You realize, to live with awareness is to live with awe. Every moment becomes worship, every act, devotion, every word, a ripple in eternity. The Stoics believed the soul was a spark of divine fire, and that spark is within you still. You are not the body that will decay. You are not the story that will fade. You are the consciousness, watching it all unfold. The body will return to earth, the breath to wind, the spirit to light, and what you have become will remain, not in memory, but in essence, in every act of good you leave behind, in every heart you have touched, in every mind you have awakened. This is the immortality of the Stoic, not endless time, but eternal impact. And when the final dawn comes, and you stand at the edge of the world, you will not beg for more days. You will smile, because you used the ones you had to become who you were meant to be. You will look at the sky one last time, feel the rhythm of your heart, and whisper, "It was enough. Enough joy, enough pain, enough life." Because you lived fully, you endured nobly, you loved honestly, and that is all the universe ever asked of you. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Carry that with you. Carry it always. Let every morning remind you that you are part of something vast and ancient and beautiful. You are a moment in eternity, but an eternal moment nonetheless. So live well, love deeply, endure nobly, forgive quickly, and when your time comes, die peacefully, because you will have already learned the greatest truth of all, that the meaning of life was never hidden in the stars, but whispered within your soul, in every breath, every tear, every act of quiet courage. And in that whisper, you will hear it again, the voice that has guided you all along. You have done well. You can rest now. And in that stillness, you finally will. That is mastery, to feel the emotion, but remain unmoved by it. The world can break around you, and still you stand, gentle, aware, free. Freedom is not loud. It does not shout. It sits quietly, like a mountain that has seen centuries pass and no longer needs to explain its silence. You become like that mountain, rooted, patient, still. And when you speak, you do so from depth, from presence, from love. You no longer chase purpose. You embody it. Purpose is not found in grand gestures, but in how you live the small moments, how you rise when tired, how you forgive when hurt, how you keep faith when life makes no sense. Each act of quiet virtue is a rebellion against chaos. Each moment of discipline is a declaration of freedom. Each breath of gratitude is a prayer to the divine order. And so you live, not for applause, not for reward, but for alignment. Because to live well is reward enough. When the day ends, you no longer fear the night. You sit with it. You thank it. For you know now, the darkness is not against you. It is within you, asking to be understood. You are both the storm and the calm, the fire and the ashes, the question and the answer. And in that knowing, you find rest. The Stoic heart does not harden. It softens wisely. It learns that forgiveness is not a gift to others, but a liberation of the self. You forgive the world, not because it deserves it, but because you deserve peace. Even when the world is unkind, even when chaos surrounds you, because your peace is no longer negotiable. It is sacred ground, earned through tears, guarded by discipline, nourished by silence. When you love now, you love differently. Not to possess, not to complete, but to witness, to share, to understand. Love becomes no longer a fever, but a flame, steady, gentle, enduring. You stop asking, will they stay? And start whispering, thank you for walking with me this far. Because you know, everything and everyone is passing through. And still, you love. You open your heart, knowing it can break. You speak your truth, knowing it may be misunderstood. You give, knowing it may not return. That is not weakness. That is courage. That is mastery. Or to love without need is to touch eternity. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free," and bravery is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be ruled by it. You no longer fear endings. You understand. They are beginnings wearing darker clothes. You no longer fear loss. You see, nothing real can ever be lost. It changes form, but never leaves you. You no longer fear time. You know, every moment is a universe, infinite when lived fully. And so, you live differently now. You move slower. You listen deeper. You speak only when it serves peace. The Stoics believed in eudaimonia, a life lived in harmony with virtue, with reason, with nature, not happiness as pleasure, but happiness as alignment, the quiet satisfaction of living as the soul intended. And so you ask yourself, each morning, what would my highest self do today? Not the self that craves comfort, but the self that honors truth. You begin to notice how often the mind lies, how often it invents suffering from things that never happened. Seneca warned, there are more things to alarm us than to harm us, and we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. You see now, most of your pain was the shadow of thought, not the thing itself. And so you learn to question it, to watch the mind as it speaks, but not obey it. You breathe, and in that breath, you find distance, you find choice. One day you will realize that everything you have been searching for was never somewhere else. It was never hidden in the stars or buried in the noise of the world. It was inside you, quiet, waiting. It waited while you ran, while you broke, while you bled, while you tried to become everything the world told you to be. It watched you fall in love with illusions and lose yourself to them. It waited patiently, as all truth does, until you were ready to return. And when you finally come home to yourself, you will not need to announce it. The peace in your eyes will speak for you. The calm in your voice will reveal it. The steadiness in your step will tell the story of someone who has walked through fire and learned to dance in its light. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength, which will always spring up if you will always look." This is the secret. The strength you've been chasing was never lost. It was only sleeping beneath your fear, and now you have woken it. There will come a moment, perhaps in stillness, perhaps in sorrow, when you understand the universe owes you nothing, and yet it has given you everything. The air, the sun, the chance to try again, the pain that refines you, the love that teaches you, the ending that sets you free. And you will whisper, not with bitterness, but with reverence, "I understand." Because understanding is the final form of peace. The Stoics knew this. They did not seek to escape life's weight, but to bear it with grace. They did not resist the natural order. They bowed to it, not in defeat, but in wisdom. They understood that the river of existence flows as it must, and that peace is found, not in stopping the current, but in learning to float. You are floating now, not because you have given up, but because you have given in to what is real. You do not cling to what must pass. You do not curse what must come. You trust the flow. Epictetus said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." That is the essence of freedom. To accept, to align, to allow. The modern world resists this. It tells you to control, to dominate, to manipulate life into your image. But the Stoic knows, control is illusion, only response is real. And so you respond with calm, with courage, with kindness. Every act of kindness, every moment of courage, every quiet choice of love echoes beyond time. And so you continue, not with fear, but with reverence. You walk slowly now, you speak less, you feel more. You begin to live as though each moment were a prayer, each breath a sacred vow, to live justly, to speak truthfully, to forgive quickly, to love deeply. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." And you are still learning. Every sunrise, every scar, every tear is a lesson. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are meant to be. There is no timeline for awakening. The soul blooms in its own season, and one day, perhaps without even noticing, you will wake up and realize that peace no longer feels distant. It lives in you now. You will see yourself as you are, flawed, but whole, wounded, but wise, imperfect, but free. And you will understand that every version of you that once hurt, that once failed, that once doubted, was necessary. Because without the fall, there is no rise. Without the wound, no healing. Without the darkness, no light. You will look back on your pain, not with anger, but with gratitude, for it showed you the truth. You are more powerful than you imagined, and the world, for all its cruelty, was your greatest teacher. So walk on, not as a victim, but as a vessel of wisdom. Do not wait for the world to be kind. Be kind anyway. Do not wait for certainty. Act anyway. Do not wait for peace. Be peace, because everything you seek already exists within you. Marcus once reflected, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So think bravely, think beautifully, think truthfully. For thought becomes word, word becomes action, action becomes destiny. And destiny is not written in the stars, it is written in your choices. So choose courage, choose wisdom, choose love. And when your final day arrives, when your breath grows slow and steady, you will not tremble. You will not beg for more time. You will smile, knowing you have lived with honor. Because the Stoics' goal was never to escape death, but to live so well that death finds no fault in how they lived. And so will you. The pain you endured will not be wasted. The tears you shed will not be forgotten. They will have forged something eternal, a spirit unbreakable. You have become the calm in the storm, the flame in the darkness, the stillness within chaos. And in that stillness, you finally hear it, the quiet voice beneath all noise. It says, you have done well. You close your eyes, you breathe. And for the first time in a long time, you feel whole. And when you finally sit with that silence, without fleeing, you will find peace. Because peace was never absence of noise, it was the acceptance of it. You will start to see beauty again, in the simple things, the morning light, slipping through the curtain, the way the wind moves the leaves, the sound of your own breathing. You begin to live slower, deeper, truer. You stop rushing toward meaning. You start creating it. You realize that your purpose was never hidden in the world. It was always in how you face it. When Marcus wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, he meant that every moment is an opportunity to choose your shade. Will you color your life with bitterness or with gratitude? With fear or with courage? Because in the end, your life is not defined by what happens, but by how you interpret it. The same rain that drowns one man nourishes another. The same fire that burns can forge. When you begin to understand this, you become unstoppable. Not because you are invincible, but because nothing can take your peace. You stop seeking comfort. You start seeking truth. You stop running from the storm. You walk into it, head high, eyes steady, heart unshaken. That is the mark of one who has seen, one who has died to fear and been reborn in understanding. You begin to feel something you haven't felt in years. Freedom, not the freedom of the world, not the kind that depends on wealth or approval, but the freedom of the soul, the quiet knowing that no matter what happens, you are enough. The world could collapse, you could lose everything, and still, you would stand, because you have built your foundation, not on what can be taken, but on what cannot be broken. Virtue, discipline, grace. Those are the pillars of the Stoic spirit, and you begin to understand why the ancient philosophers smiled at death, because they had already died to everything false. They no longer clung to the illusion of control. They no longer needed to win. They no longer feared the end, because they were living fully in the present. You realize now, that is true immortality, not living forever, but living so deeply that even death cannot erase you. There comes a time when silence feels heavier than words, when you no longer need to shout your victories or explain your pain. You simply breathe, and that itself becomes enough. The noise of the world fades. Its demands, its judgments, its illusions, they no longer command you, because now you see, the only battle worth fighting was always the one within. Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Mortality, the most honest teacher. We live as if we will live forever. We postpone peace. We postpone love. We postpone ourselves. But the Stoics remind us, memento mori. Remember you will die. Not to fear it, but to wake up. Each sunrise is not a promise. It is a mercy. Each breath, a gift. So live not as though you had 1,000 years ahead, but as though this very dawn were your last. Speak what must be spoken. Forgive what weighs you down. Do what makes the soul luminous. Because life does not wait for the ready. It moves, and you must move with it. There was a time when you measured your worth by how much the world saw you, by applause, by recognition, by belonging. But now, you understand, the truest measure of worth is how much you remain yourself when no one is watching. The Stoic walks unseen, not because he hides, but because he needs no audience. He carries the universe within. He walks with death beside him, and yet, his heart is calm. He knows every breath could be his last, and so every breath is sacred. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." How many moments have we lost? To worry, to anger, to the endless pursuit of more? We chase tomorrow, forgetting that tomorrow has never been guaranteed. And when death finally knocks, it will not care how rich we were, how admired, how safe. It will only ask, did you live? Did you love fully, knowing love could be taken? Did you forgive, even when you had every reason not to? Did you face yourself in the quiet hours when no one else could? To live well is not to avoid death. It is to walk beside it, unafraid. Epictetus taught that everything given is only on loan. The people you love, the body you inhabit, the time you spend, all borrowed, all destined to return. So hold nothing too tightly. Love deeply, but without ownership. Give, but do not demand. Let go, but without bitterness, because clinging turns love into fear, and fear turns the soul rigid. Let it flow. Let it breathe. Let it go. You will lose many things in this life. People, dreams, moments, but you will never lose what you have truly understood. Wisdom does not leave you. It becomes you. There will be nights when loneliness curls around your ribs and silence feels infinite. You will look for something, someone, to make it stop. But remember, loneliness is not your enemy. It is your mirror. It shows you the parts of yourself you have ignored. It strips you bare, so you can finally meet the person you have been avoiding, yourself. And that freedom begins when you stop resisting reality. The world is neither good nor bad. It simply is. It moves as it must. The sun rises. The rain falls. People come. People go. You breathe in. You breathe out. And life continues. Accept this rhythm, and you will find stillness, even in the storm. Marcus wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. So guard your thoughts as you would guard your soul. They are the architects of your destiny." When you look into the mirror tomorrow, you will see not what you were, but what you've become. A soul refined by fire, a being tempered by loss. And you will smile, not because it's over, but because you survived. And maybe that's the greatest victory of all. To endure, to remain kind, to still believe in goodness after everything you've seen. Seneca wrote, "He who has learned to suffer has learned to live. So suffer well. Let it shape you, not shatter you. Let it carve wisdom into your bones. You will discover that every pain was a message, every loss a direction, every ending a beginning. And someday, when the noise fades, when your heart beats steady again, you will understand. Peace was never somewhere out there. It was always within you, waiting to be uncovered. By silence, by surrender, by strength." The Stoics called it ataraxia, tranquility of the soul, unmoved by chaos, untouched by fortune or misfortune. That is your destination. Not fame, not wealth, not even happiness, but peace. The quiet knowing that nothing external can disturb what is whole within. So live deliberately, speak less, listen more, act with virtue, love without possession, give without expectation. And when the world forgets you, remember yourself. When they mock your calm, smile softly, for they do not yet understand what freedom truly is. You have walked through darkness and found the light inside it. You have fallen and risen stronger. You have faced the storm and discovered you were the storm. You no longer chase meaning. You embody it. And that is the quiet revolution of a Stoic heart. You were not born to escape pain. You were born to transcend it, to turn suffering into strength, and strength into serenity. And one day, when the world grows quiet again, and you stand beneath the open sky, you will realize you have become everything you were seeking. You will stand there, calm, unshaken, free. You are not your emotions. You are the one who watches them come and go. The world will call you heartless for your calm. But peace is not heartlessness. It is strength mastered. It is love disciplined. The Stoics never asked us to be unfeeling. They asked us to feel deeply, without drowning, to love fully, without clinging, to hope fiercely, without demand. And so you walk this earth, not untouched by pain, but unbroken by it. You begin to see beauty in the very things that once tore you apart. The betrayal, the loss, the failure, all teachers, all sacred. The mind begins to whisper, it was always supposed to happen this way. Because life is not cruel, it is precise. It gives you not what you want, but what you need to evolve. And still you rise, again and again and again. No one sees the battles fought in silence. No one applauds the nights you didn't give up. But those unseen moments, they are your crown. They are where your soul becomes sovereign. There will be days when your strength fades, when the world feels heavy again, when doubt returns whispering lies. That's all right. Breathe. Begin again. You were never meant to win once. You were meant to fight daily. Against apathy, against fear, against despair, until the struggle itself becomes your peace. You do not need to be fearless. You only need to move forward in spite of fear. And each step, no matter how small, is a victory. The Stoics did not promise comfort. They promised freedom. Freedom from attachment, from the tyranny of emotion, from the chaos of things beyond control. And though you may not see it now, one day you will look back and whisper, thank you. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. You owe yourself the effort to rise, the courage to forgive, the discipline to continue. Marcus wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The same is true today. Stop waiting for the world to change. Change yourself, and the world must follow. Somewhere within you, a fire still burns, a quiet defiance, the will to keep going. Even when your knees buckle and your vision fades, that fire is your nature. It is the Stoic within. It whispers, endure, persist, transcend. You are not made to live easy. You were made to live meaningfully. Ease softens, struggle strengthens. Every difficulty is an invitation to meet yourself again. Not the self shaped by praise or comfort, but the self that endures when nothing remains. Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. So do not curse your trials. Thank them. They are the gymnasium of your soul. The night is long, yes, but it is not endless. Every dawn begins in darkness. And when that dawn finally comes, you will not emerge as the same person. You will walk differently, speak differently, see differently, because pain refines the eye. It teaches you to recognize what truly matters. Truth, honor, peace. You begin to see that happiness was never the goal. Peace was. And peace comes not from control, but from surrender. Not the surrender of weakness, but of wisdom. The understanding that you cannot command the winds, but you can command your sails. Life will break you. It must. It breaks everyone. But those who learn how to bend, they are never destroyed. You must learn to live like water, to flow around obstacles, to accept what comes and let go of what leaves. When you lose someone you love, remember, nothing truly yours can ever be taken. What was real becomes part of you. What was illusion fades away. And when grief grips you like iron, breathe. Let it remind you how deeply you could love. The pain is proof of that love. And love, even when it hurts, is the noblest of all emotions. Do not numb it. Do not hide from it. Let it flow through you, and you will rise cleansed, purified by sorrow, made holy by endurance. You do not heal by forgetting. You heal by understanding. Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. And mastery begins when you stop seeking control over others and take control of your own soul. When your anger rises, and observe it. When your fear screams, listen to it, but do not obey. The world grows quiet when your heart breaks, not because it stops moving, but because for a moment, you see it as it truly is, empty of promises, full of lessons. You stand there, hands trembling, soul cracked open, and for the first time, you understand what the Stoics meant when they said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Pain has always been the oldest teacher. It doesn't whisper, it doesn't comfort, it strips you bare until only truth remains. And the truth is, you were never broken. You were being sculpted, chiseled by loss, by rejection, by the quiet hours when no one believed in you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. You didn't lose your path. You became it." There are days when the world feels unbearable. When the weight of your own thoughts presses against your chest like a storm that won't end. You try to hide it, smile through it, pretend that you're fine, but inside, you're screaming into the silence. And yet, it is in that silence where transformation begins. You are not the voice that doubts you. You are the one who hears it and chooses not to believe. When Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," he was reminding us, the mind is both the cage and the key. You think your suffering is unique, that no one could ever understand, the ache inside your chest. But look closer. Every soul you pass is carrying its own invisible wound. Every smile hides a war. So breathe. You are not alone in your darkness. You are part of the great human struggle. The eternal dance between despair and meaning. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Those words are not comfort, they are command. You cannot stop the storm, but you can stand within it. You can become unshaken. A mountain in the rain. The modern world will tell you to escape your pain, to numb it, distract it, forget it. But the Stoics would tell you, feel it, face it. Look it in the eye until it has no power over you. Because mastery does not come from running, it comes from standing still. When everything in you wants to flee, you think you are weak because you cry. But tears are the water that softens the soul, so it can grow again. The strong are not those who never fall. They are those who rise quietly, without witness, without applause, because it is right. Life will test you. It will take from you what you love. It will push you to the edge of reason. And in those moments, you will be tempted to curse the heavens, to ask why. But perhaps the better question is, why not you? Why should you be spared from the very forge that shapes all greatness? Every hardship you faced was not punishment. It was preparation. The pain that shattered you was the same force building your strength. The loneliness that hollowed you was creating space for something deeper.